And on this week's episode of the MentalEdge Podcast, your host, Fernando Lopez, and his trusty sidekick, Jay Wakasey, lets you in on a little secret. Come a little closer. Here's the deal. Inside every great man is a bad boy. What do the ladies say?
It's hard to resist a bad boy who's a good man.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did.
Yeah?
I did, man. 4 days off is always, it's strange for me. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
I don't blame you.
I was going to tell you something. You know,
Yeah.
you talked about something the other day. You said, the last podcast, you talked about some people that kind of have a negative attitude. And some of them are my buddies in the mill, you know. I mean,
Oh, we talked
I'm a
about
mill
that.
guy, and
Yep.
it changed, you know, that job changed my life.
Right.
And what I wanted to say was, it's a work attitude people have in general.
Oh, yeah.
Have you noticed that? I had a conversation with a lady at her job the other day, and I don't want to say the establishment,
The establishment.
but she came out, Junior, and she said, "This place is a prison." And she was shuffling the magazines, and I said, and I'll mind you, the people that she works with, I think, can hear her. They're only a wall away, and I know them to be amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
I know these people are awesome.
Yeah.
They do amazing charity work, and
Yeah.
I know other people that work there who love them.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, man, and she's just a secretary, you know, and I said, well, when are you going to retire? I was just, you know, making small talk.
Right.
And she's like, not soon enough. And I said, well, what's your plan? Because I like when people have a plan. I don't just want people to retire and they watch Matlock in their pajamas. And then die. So then she said, I'm going to sleep, and then I'm going to wake up and sleep some more. And I was just speechless, you know, because...
Chirp, cricket, cricket.
Yeah, speechless. Here come the crickets.
Yeah.
But I hope that's not...
Wow.
I don't think that's a plan. I think there's a plan in life,
Yeah.
a lot of people in general, where they believe their fantasy is that they will get to a point where they don't have to do anything. And I don't think that's going to be fruitful. And I just wanted to mention
Not
that.
for me.
No.
No. I'm literally I plan on working till the day that I pass.
That's right.
The day that I expire.
I'll be out of breath when I'm out of breath.
Yeah, when I'm out of breath. What happened to him? He's out of breath. I'll say that for you if you go before me. And if I go before you, you just got to say.
You promise?
Yeah, he's
speak?
out of breath.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely speak. Dude, this is a connection right now.
I know.
You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, it's weird. I think about you while I was eating turkey. I was like, somebody goes, what do you got to be today? I said, well, normally I'd be doing a podcast.
They're like, what? Awesome, right?
Yeah. And I think right now nobody knows that we're doing this.
Nope.
You know
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
I know the people are like, I see people watching when we shared a little tidbit the other day.
Right.
Did you like that? I snap a lot. I snap a lot.
I snap a lot. That was the best.
I wanted to pull that. I'm like, dude, I could write a whole song on it. I snap a lot.
I loved it.
It was awesome, man. And you're funny. And we're going to, you know what I love? One of the things people are going to find out is that all the graphic work is done by you. A little bit of the music will be done by you too. We're going to use your voice. Yeah. And everything's original, from our thoughts to...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's just...
I love the... Let me see that note that you have real quick.
Let me see these notes.
I just want to see what you brought. Let me see. Is this what you sent
When
me?
you... Dude, when I...
Wait,
when you,
is this it?
This is the...
No, this is something
This
else,
is... When you said... You sent me a text.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that. It's just like... When you send me a text, my mind just goes...
Yeah.
And I didn't want to lose. I probably looked at that text 5 times because I was at work.
Yeah.
And I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
I do work for a living, right?
Right. I got you.
But you said you wrote like a little synopsis that should be used for the beginning of that episode. Whether that's today or not, let's shoot from the hip.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I sent you some stuff. You sent me some stuff. But I don't care which one we pick.
No.
It's awesome.
You know what we can do too?
Yeah, we can knock it out. Yep. Let's knock it out.
Yep, let's do it. Mm-hmm. So, how do we want to introduce ourselves in a certain way?
Yes, because I want you to do a couple things. I want you to say who you are, and then I want you to say who you are in a way that I could pull it and use it later.
Okay.
Okay, with some flavor.
Let's try it. All right. And like in Spanish?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm just
Isn't a name the same in Spanish?
My name is the same, exactly the same as Spanish, except I rolled the R a little longer.
Do you? Yeah.
When I say it in English, it's going to sound weird. When I say, I don't like Fernando. I like Fernando.
I totally get that.
I like Fernando.
Fernan. Yeah.
Instead of the na.
Fernando.
Yeah. And then when I'm in Spanish, if I'm saying it in Spanish, Fernando.
Yeah, I love it.
I heard you. All right. So,
Say it. You hear it.
This is Fernando Lopez, and we are here with Jay Wo. Wait, I got a new one. Hold on. This is Fernando Lopez, and I'm here with Wawa at the Mental Edge.
Man, that's awesome because when I was in Little League, that's what they would call me.
I say
Jay
that
Wawa Casey.
Jay Wawa Casey.
I love it. How'd you know that?
Because I met with Brian, and he said Wawa, and I'm like, what?
Which Brian?
I know Sanders.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I said, you mean J-Wo? He's like, that's high school. I'm talking about before high school. So yeah, when he said that, I could just imagine, like, he's like, you mean Wawa? I was like, what? Who's that?
Man, those kids, let me tell you something. That group of guys.
Yeah.
So Brian played with the Hobart Township kids.
Okay.
Okay.
You were LS?
And then they got combined to Lake Station.
Ooh.
And that was like such a talent-rich group of young men. Like,
right.
There was only 2 teams of them, and it was like they brought 2 all-star teams over to Lake Station to beat up on us.
Oh, man.
So he played with those Lake Station guys because that's where he. I'm sorry, River Forest guys.
Oh, because
most of those
gotcha.
Alfano, Kaliziak, they all.
Yeah.
A lot of them went over there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And he still plays baseball.
He's phenomenal. Yeah, he's
fast pitch.
Does he?
Region Brewers.
Wow.
So that's how your name came up. Look at that. Years later. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was cool. So that was my introduction.
Yeah.
I wanted to catch you off guard. That's why I did it. You
I
should
like
have seen your eyes. I don't know if the video caught it, but that was pretty cool. All right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
ahead.
So this is Jay Casey. That's all I got.
Yeah. Jay Wawa.
Yeah.
Jay
Wawa Casey.
Jay Wawa Casey. All right. I don't know which one I like better, but I'll probably just jump back and forth from either one.
Yeah.
All right. So do me a favor. Can you recap just what you sent me? Because I didn't see this one yet.
What I sent you in that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think we should probably go.
I'm going to set the stage.
First. Yeah.
So I get up Saturday morning to go jog with my wife.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we do once. We don't get to do it enough together.
Right.
I run separately. She runs. She runs more than me. I don't like it. I only do it because it works. I do not like it.
Right.
But you got to do things you don't like sometimes if they work.
Yeah.
So we get up and we run.
Bad boys do that.
Bad boys. And so as I'm running, some music comes on. And, dude, I'm going to tell you something like, Jesus blessed me with music sometimes, like, right when I need it.
Yeah.
Back in Black will come on. You know, like right when I need it. Or sometimes I'll hit a low spot and I'll be ready to walk.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be a runner. I just do it because it works.
Right.
And all of a sudden, ice, baby, ding, 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 ding.
I mean, it's like there. It takes you there. You're there.
It takes me there, man, and it puts me in a place. It actually, I travel back to a time when I felt young and invincible. Right. And I'm like, there's no reason why I can't feel that way right now. Yeah. I'm trying to do enough things right that should be achievable for me.
Bro, you do handstands on moving bikes. I think you're good. All right.
So I text you right away because you popped in my head as I was running. I'm like, there's like, I try to tap into an inner bad boy. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to talk the whole time.
No, go.
Kincaid used to say some things to me to remind me where we came from and why we were special. And I can't wait to say those things, that's just, that's awesome. So I flash back to a time when we were sitting in the gymnasium and we were getting ready to play South Central. Okay. And everyone was talking about how good they were, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're from like the outskirts of Porter County. Yeah. Might as well be South Kentucky. Right?
To us, right?
I know they're going across 5 time zones to get to us. They left Thursday and we're playing Friday.
Right.
So You know, and we were good, Junior, right?
Yeah,
we were good for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
it was a great time in our lives.
Yes.
One of my favorite times. And he said something to us. He was preparing us for the moment where we step on the field, and he said, this is what's different about you guys. He said, you have a chip on your shoulder because you've had to fight for everything in life, and you're not done fighting, and tonight that's going to count for you. And like right now, I'm just going to tell you, Junior, my spine's tingling.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you know. So I just sent that to you, and I just knew you could. I knew you could come off of it because we're from the same.
Yeah.
We're from the same barrio.
Yeah,
Like
barrio.
that. It's the
I like it.
backyard.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I took that and I read this little thing. It says it's hard to resist a bad boy who's a good man.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
it's the truth, right?
Well, we talked before. We said that we were, we're Jesus people, right?
Yeah.
We're Jesus guys, right? We that's not all we talk about, but like that's in the core in my heart.
Absolutely.
That's what I believe. Well, I can't be all bad.
No,
you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
can't
that's
be all
right.
bad. So I felt that like a bad boy is a man that has an edge, and that edge can come in a variety of ways.
Yes, it can.
Right?
That's so good.
You
man.
you just told me right now. It can come in a variety of ways. That chip on the shoulder is one of the ways that it came for us.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Growing up where we did, like for me, it's crazy. I was just telling Susanna this the other day. For me, being from like almost the Little Mexico side of Lake Station, Clay Street, right? Seeing like the Warren side of Lake Station was like going to the Lake of Four Seasons for me.
It's crazy, right?
That side of Lake Station,
It was-
I was like, that song Moving On Up? I literally felt, so I moved from like New Jersey Street to Warren Street, all right?
Yeah.
Which is roughly like maybe 2.5 miles away. And I literally sang that song.
You were moving on up.
I was moving on up. I was still Lake Station, but from one side to the other, it just felt great, right? So, but when you're growing up like that, it just, you got that chip on your shoulder. You want to, and that's how we grew up. We didn't have a lot. You know
No,
what
we
I'm
did
saying?
not. And I think it's so important.
Yeah. If it wasn't for people like Pete Hernandez during wrestling season gave me his old wrestling shoes, I'd be wrestling in gym shoes, like normal gym shoes.
That's right.
He hooked me up with like his, like the best pair of blue. They didn't even match our uniform colors. We were black and red. And he gave me some blue ASIC Tigers.
Oh man,
You know,
what a great
so-
memory for
yeah,
you too.
yeah,
And when you're trying to drive home with your kids, that not only do you not need the best, but it might actually be in your best interest to not get the best.
Right. It
Right?
did, yeah.
Because conventionally people think, well, getting the best is always the best thing.
Yeah.
But there's a whole side of character development that you miss out on.
Yes.
That's
I
so
told
good,
I told
Jimmy.
my son, I saw this little video and I kept it. It was a Dominican player, and he had a piece of cardboard that was a square. It literally, it was like a 4-inch by 7-inch square, and he made a little hole for his finger. And he was he's like one of the greatest shortstops playing today,
Yeah.
right? And he's showing how he grew up playing. and my son's asking for a $300 mitt.
Sure.
$300-something
There
mitt.
you
And I'm
go.
thinking to myself,
Right.
because he wants to be a better shortstop. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, that guy did it with a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Anyway, some of the things that I think about when we talk about bad boy is personalities, right? Now, check this out. A lot of times people think, so let's say I was a bad boy turned good, or something like that. Some people think that your personality has to change. And someone once told me, and I'll never forget it, they're like, well, your personality sometimes never changes. He goes, usually it doesn't change. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. And the example I'm going to use is like, if you were, and I'm going to mention Christianity here, but if you were, if you were funny before you came to know Christ,
Yeah.
you're probably funny when you know Christ.
I hope so.
I hope so,
Me
right?
too, man.
You lose that, you're like, what? Yeah. So,
So true, man.
yeah, it's true, and I've known that to be true with a lot of different people. It's like, and there's some people that are dry, and when they come to know Christ, they're dry. It's like, it is what it is.
Yes.
But my point is like, sometimes that edge that we were talking about, even though we have changed our lives, right? Even though we grow up and, sometimes we still keep that edge. So that chip on my shoulder has always been the go-to for me when I'm going in a job interview and I'm trying to get
That's right.
a position that's a little higher. And I notice that, okay, I'm going up against these guys from the other side of the tracks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Well, they didn't grow up how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? They might have had that $300 mitt that I didn't have. So that made a difference for me.
Junior, that's so good.
It made a big difference for me growing up. So I did want to share that your personality doesn't have to change through the process of you becoming, let's say you were a bad boy, or, you can still keep that edge.
That's right. That edge is in check. And like what I envisioned while I was running with my wife too was like everybody's got that friend that they used to go to a party with, right? Uh-huh. And it seemed like you always had to have your hand almost like you're holding them back like a seatbelt, because your friend was liable to get into a fight.
Oh yeah.
Right? It was always on the verge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't totally like he was offended. It was like he just liked to fight.
Yeah. We had a lot of those.
I like to represent.
Yeah.
So and when you would look at his face, sometimes his face would be down and he'd be looking, he's kind of looking out of the top of his eyes, and he'd have a slight grin.
Yeah.
Because it's about to be what I love, which is a little bit of contact and a little bit of you're going to get to know me intimately like you didn't know. And I think that every man has to have that inside him and in check and in control when he unleashes that side of him.
Yeah.
Right? Because life is tough.
Yeah.
And I've had to do that, and that some people aren't. I bet I've had to do that once with each of my kids. Kind of be the dad that makes everybody uncomfortable. Yeah. But just know that I'm also the dad that 10 seconds later that son was kissing me on my lips.
Yeah, because he loves you.
Because he knows, right?
Yeah, he knows that you're doing it in love.
Yes, this is completely different, right? You have to have this edge, and it has to be accessible. Yeah. And there's just so much to talk about.
When I was young, me and my cousin, I'm not going to name which cousin. You know him though. So me and my cousin came to live with me for a little while, and we were 16 and we just started hitting the weight room. Yeah. With I'm trying to think of his name, Derula.
Oh yeah.
You remember Bill?
I used to meet you guys in that weight room.
Yep. Yeah. Well, so we'd lift heavy, we'd lift hard, and we were coming home, and we're wearing tank tops.
You guys were looking good.
Yeah,
I remember.
So check this out. I'm at home, and my pops is there, and smoking a cigarette on the bottom of the stairs, and we're like coming out of the house, and he was just trying to make conversation with us, and my cousin got a little cocky with him, and I'm instigating the whole thing. See, my dad was I used to see him as a giant of a man, but now we're standing eye to eye, right?
Yeah, things have changed.
Yeah, things have changed. Well, so I'm egging it on. My cousin is really going to town with his lips. He's just trash talking. My dad, he's kind of chill, has a cigarette. The old school guys, literally the cigarette is hanging off of the bottom of the lip, where even the top of the lip ain't holding the cigarette. It's just hanging there. So he's talking, and it's flopping up and down. And the ash is as long as the cigarette.
Oh, right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm like, man, is that ash ever gonna fall? Well, my cousin, he said something, and my dad's pretty much like, well, if you feel froggy, jump.
I love that phrase.
Yeah.
Feeling froggy.
First time I ever heard it, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Well, cousin goes for the leap of faith. I don't know. I think he really thought in his mind that he had it.
Yeah.
He swung. Pops moved out of the way, took his shirt, put it over his head. Jacked him up a couple times.
Oh, he got the old school beat down.
He got the old school beat down. Nothing hard. I could see he was holding back, right?
Yeah.
And then lets him go. And Cuzzo takes his shirt down. He's flustered and upset. He's red and he's embarrassed. And I look over at my dad, and the cigarette is still there. The ash never ashed.
Oh my!
It's
God.
literally and he's just talking. He's like, I'm too. And he said this, and I'll never forget. He goes, I'm too young to be rolling around with you young guys. He goes, if I hit you, I'm going for the one punch.
Oh my gosh.
Kill. He goes, so I was just messing around with you. Yeah, he was just. So, hey, Pops had a chip on his shoulder too.
That's
you
right.
Say it?
That's right. And I believe that cousin.
Yeah.
He learned a lesson that day, didn't he, about old man strength?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't mess with old man strength.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So is that what you were talking about? Like you unleashed a little bit of that?
Yeah.
On your kids once in a while?
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
I'll give you an example.
Give me an example.
Ryder, who's in the next room right now, because we're rolling right in our hizzo, right? Is he was at a very impressionable age where I would watch him, and I thought he was kind of disrespecting his teenage babysitter, somebody he really loved, right?
Testing the waters.
Yeah, and so I watched it occur, and I first said, Ryder, you need to apologize to her.
Right.
And he was testing me at a very young age. He's like, nah, ain't happening. Right?
Right.
So I said, Ryder, you need to apologize to her because she's great to you, you know? And this might be an indication, Fernando, of what happens when I'm not around. Now, I'm actually worried about the conduct of my son in this moment. Right? So, again, he refused. So then I grabbed him by the arm and I pulled him in the hallway. Now, all of the women in the room, of which there were many, are now, they lower their head a little bit because it's about to get really uncomfortable for as long as it has to, Junior. My son is not going to disrespect a woman and them let him get away with it, right? Because when you let that happen, if you don't address it, you're actually enabling it and promoting it.
Eesh.
He's got to know at this moment this is unacceptable. Yeah. So that's when he began to get the little butt whooping, okay? Now here's how that butt whooping goes. It's firm. Are you going to apologize? No. It's good because I was just getting warmed up. There's another one coming. And his cousin, and there's going to be no ash left, okay? So, boom. Are you ready to apologize? Now everybody is like slumping in their seat. Because my 5-year-old son isn't going to win this battle.
No.
Because if he wins this battle,
he might be uphill battle for you forever.
He might be 28.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I get it.
So we got about 2 more in. And he's like, I'm sorry. And you know what I did? I gave him a hug. I said, thank you, son.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
That's
I felt like you meant it. You know?
Yeah.
Whether I pulled it out of you with pliers or not, you meant it.
Awesome.
So I just feel like, that's not me. The guy that had to do that, but he needed to be present. Not even just for me, but he needed to be present for Ryder. That bad boy needs to be accessible for your family in life adversity.
Ooh,
right?
Good stuff. That was awesome. Yeah.
I know you got something.
Yeah. Well, that was. I did come across something very similar to that, and in my case, what I would do is sometimes I had to, sometimes they test you, okay, and I had to do the exact same thing over and over. And what I mean by the exact same thing, let me clarify. Let me give you some context here. So you're at a store and the kid, is asking for everything. He's jumping off shelves. He's climbing stuff, and I get it, but that's just like not the place for this stuff to go down. Yeah. So, and then, he's trying to jump out of the cart. You name it. All kinds of stuff is going on. He's yelling stuff. He's saying no, he's disrespectful. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I really want to continue shopping. So my shopping experience is about to be cut really, really short, especially if he's not willing to cooperate.
Right.
So at that point you have a lot of times we as parents will tell our children, don't do it, or I'm going to take you home. We're not going to be at the store anymore. But then they don't follow through, right?
That's right.
Right.
Idle threats.
Idle threats. I followed through even if it meant at many times leaving certain places where I really wanted to be, leaving those places. He had to know that, and he threw a fit from the second I picked him up, or she, I had boys and girls, and they would throw a fit until you get into the car, and then they realize, oh my God, this guy's really leaving.
It's real.
We're really going home, right? And you got to do that sometimes over and over
right.
and over, you know? So those types of things kind of remind me of what you did. But those moments, like what you just talked about, that also happened to me as well. But we do have to sometimes be able to access it or get a hold of that bad boy and then control it, though.
Yeah,
Can't let it get out of
because I don't like jail. I want to do well. You saw, I'm not going to do well in jail. Yeah. You know it, dude. It ain't going to happen, man.
Yeah. I get it.
I'm not going to do well in jail.
Right.
So, but he still though, you got to hulk out sometimes, man. You know, without hurting yourself or anybody else. Of course, we would never condone violence. I'm not beating my son here, and you know, unless I gotta. but there's just so much in life. I catch myself like the person I feel like I need to unleash the bad boy on the most, Junior, is me. Because I'm a creator of my own excuses. Right? I don't ever want. By the way, that football game. Yeah. Junior, do you remember the score of that football game against South Central? They were supposed to be able to hang with us.
50-0?
55-0.
55-0.
Sorry, boys from Porter Counter. Yeah. I apologize.
Yeah.
So
we beat a lot of teams like that.
Yeah, that was a great season. Yep. No doubt about it. Yep. But I feel like, and we talked about this a little bit, like in the morning, I know what I have to do to take care of myself. Yeah. And I start making like excuse whispers come to me right away. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of have to call myself out. Yeah. Because I'm lying to myself when I'm making excuses, and I got to tap into that guy that's part of my life that I'm letting have free reign over me to call me out. It's not a demeaning type of call out. It's a lot like that David Goggins story, which I would like to remind people that is something you should access when you
looked into it.
Did you look him up?
Beast mode. Holy cow.
Excuses out the window.
Out the window, man. Out the window. Yeah. Man's man, right? That guy he's intense. Yeah. He's intense, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any guys that you remember, and you don't have to use their names, I'm going to probably use one, that you remember as being like a bad boy? And he don't have to be, he's, and for whatever reason, he was intriguing because there's an element of that character. I don't care who you are. Yeah. It's attractive, Fernando. Oh, yeah. There's something about a bad boy. And at this age, we're in check, right? But it's an attractive quality. Oh, yeah. Because it's a powerful quality. Yeah. Do you have anyone in your mind?
I check this out. This is crazy. So, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to tell you this story, and I should be dead.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm going to pop some popcorn.
Yeah. So, this story probably talks about two. And you know both of them, I think. So, I'm new to this area, and a guy that I'm hanging out with newly in school decides to pick a fight with the bad boy, right? And the bad boy says, "I'm going to see you after school."
It was like right out of like an after-school special. I can't wait.
I was like, "Holy cow!" So, my newfound friend says, "Hey, will you walk with me home from school?" I'm like, yeah, sure. Not thinking too much about it.
Did you know about the rendezvous that was going to occur? Or no?
I didn't know until like action was about to start.
You got my back, right, bro?
So So I'm there, and we're about to take off walking, and he had asked like 4 or 5 different people, but I was like, I didn't know anybody really at this stage, right? So we're walking home. Or we're about to walk home, and like the other people that he asked are like disappearing one by one. Like they are not sticking around. And then the guy that asked me to stay home, his mom pulls up, and he was like, "All right, hey, you know what? I got a ride. My mom's coming to pick me up," and he's gone. Right? And I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is weird." I was like, "All right." So now it's just me.
What?
Walking. Yeah. So I'm walking, and they told me the guy's name. All right. I didn't know nothing about him. All of a sudden, I see down by Deep River, I see a body coming like out of a movie. Yes, and it's this guy. He's coming towards me. I'm thinking to myself, I might want to avoid that way. So I make a beeline towards the street, and I look in front of me, and it's a guy that looks just like him, but a little older. I was like, that must be a brother.
Oh, no.
I look over to the right of me. There's another one that looks just like this guy.
Oh, my gosh.
He's another brother. And I'm like, holy cow. What I forgot to mention, my sister happened to be walking home with me at that point.
Okay.
So it was just me and her. And my sister takes off running the opposite way. And what I didn't know is she knew somebody and she went to go get help. I didn't know that. I thought she just like left me. And at the same time, when she was going, I thought it made sense to me because I'm like, man, this girl doesn't want to be, she's a girl. I don't want her to get hurt. But my sister's tough as nails. So she probably would have been, she would have been right next to me throwing down. So I end up getting confronted, and the old Lake Station walk around where they like walk around each other and like you're sizing people up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how to, and sometimes they kind of like shoulder check you and, know, and I'm like, I just got to be strong. I know I'm going to get pretty.
There are three.
Yeah. There's three. I'm about to get beat up. But at the same time, I was like, I couldn't back down. And out of nowhere, right? This name I'm gonna tell you who the guy was. The guy's name was Stacy Sullivan.
Know him?
Yes. And a girl. Yeah. So Stacy Sullivan is the guy that's about to just demolish me and his three brothers.
Oh my
Ricky,
gosh.
and I can't remember the other one. But so if you guys see this, mad love to these guys because I love Stacy. That whole family is really cool with me. But so my sister goes and gets Mark Hine. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know Mark Hine. She knew Mark Hine. Out of nowhere, some guy
for
with
connections, man.
So, because I'm the brother, Mark says, "Hey guys," he yells something from across from down the road, and I turn around and I see a guy with a ponytail down to his like middle of his back, like long. It was like a tail,
Yeah.
He had he had like a real cool long like shirt, like real stylish with Adidas and fat pink laces.
Yeah, fat laces.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Anyway, but he came to the rescue, talked to those guys. He knew those guys, and saved my life. But the reason I say that I respected Stacy Sullivan, right? I'm telling this story, but what I didn't tell is that he's only 103 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I saw him literally viciously fight like guys that were
Tasmanian devil.
Yes. He would fight guys that were 5 times bigger than him and just attack them like a pit bull. And it was crazy, and he liked it. He had fun.
Yeah. See?
So,
yeah,
but I didn't know this.
Guys,
I didn't know this when I was walking down the road and I was about to, get
I bet you them 3 guys that peeled away from you knew it. Left you. you were like a sacrifice.
Yeah,
you didn't even know it, man.
Yeah, I did not know it. Yeah. So but the guys that left me there shall remain nameless, but they know who they are. Mm-hmm. The story alone, the fact that I stood there, and I had to. I had to. That inner bad boy had to come out because if not, I would have ran too. But I didn't. Luckily, I mean, it didn't turn out where I got beat up, but that quality or that thing that happened to me there allowed me to realize that, sometimes you're going to be in really hard situations.
Yes.
And what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? You're going to stand your ground?
You're going to stand your ground or what?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what happened to me there. And that quality, though, in Stacy, I saw allowed me to, when I got out on the wrestling mat, seeing him, because back in the day, 103 was the first to wrestle. So he set the tone for all of us.
I bet he hyped you guys up.
He did, because he was
ferocious.
He was a pit bull. He went out there and he just took care of business, and then the rest of us went out there and tried to do the same.
A lot of success through that program for that high school.
Yeah,
like those.
They were like 27-time conference champions in a row. It was like stupid.
Yeah, just I don't know what it was, but very coveted.
Yeah.
Friends of mine who've been heavy in the wrestling world remember that era of Lake Station.
Yeah.
Wrestlers.
So
that's a great story.
Yep.
Your boy Sullivan.
Yep. Shouts out to Sullivan. I think he lives like in Missouri somewhere.
Does he really?
Something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I'm wrong, and you see this, hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I remember a guy that comes to mind was a subversive bad boy. Like nobody realized that he should be respected in a way, especially because he was the type of guy that people joked around with and picked on. You know,
Okay,
and like
yeah.
as long as you're buddies.
Yeah.
But at the drop of a hat, he could pummel a human being twice his size.
Wow.
That person was Joe Burns. I don't know if you know that side of him.
Oh my God. No, Joe Burns is an awesome guy.
Like if
I love Joe Burns.
if-
Shouts to Joe Burns. He's a great guy.
if a Chevelle full of guys hit the brake lights
Mm-hmm.
and back up because one of your buddies said something, it's a really good thing if Joe's with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You
He,
know?
was he the oldest of the brothers?
I
that
think
you
he
know?
was
Yeah.
the oldest of the brothers, and he was so much fun to be around in a safe way.
Yeah.
But there was a side of Joe
Yeah.
that translated on the football field as well.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
was just like an explosion. He would he could just explode, and
Yeah.
and people would literally just be, their mouth would be gaping like,
Yeah.
where did that come from?
Yes.
I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
he's Jason Bourne over
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah,
when he,
yeah,
when he
yeah.
goes into attack mode.
Yeah.
And what I loved about that persona,
Kevin was like that.
I
too.
believe it. It's probably an
Yeah.
inheritable trait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Best fight I ever saw was Kevin Burns and Jason Pittman. You
Going
remember
at
those
it,
guys?
original MMA,
Yeah, original MMA. Yep, yep.
lunchroom or what? Or
No, man, they went out in the street. It was crazy. Nobody stopped it. That was like a 35-minute fight. It seemed
Oh
like 35
my
minutes. It was
gosh.
stupid. Yeah, broke. Like they got tired of hitting each other.
how did that end? When I say it end, was that
You know, one thing I learned about men and fighting is once it's out of us, we don't hold on to that too long.
Junior,
Isn't that crazy?
a phenomenon I love?
Yeah.
I mentioned it a little bit in that book.
Yeah.
Is fist fights that end in friendships.
Yes. Jason Pittman and Kevin Burns are probably still friends till today. Same thing with me and Jason. Jason was like one of the first guys I ever fought when I got to Lake Station. He was a bad boy, you know what I'm saying? So, and me and him after the fight literally shook hands and we were like kind of bro hug. And we've never had to this day we look at each other. I got mad respect for that guy. You know what I mean? Because I know throw down, you know.
I love it
will.
because
Yeah.
that's a real thing. Ladies,
Yeah.
if you happen to be listening, it might not make any sense to you. Maybe you've been in a parking lot fighting over your man. You might have never made friends with that sister again. But
Right.
for some reason, whether you won or lost,
Yeah.
you just were in a different mood when the fight was over many times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say every time, but
Yeah.
I would
Not
say
every
most
time.
of the time.
Yeah. And nowadays I think too, I mean, I see less of it, but they're not like fist fights anymore like they used to be. These were like one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat. Nowadays you have a lot of guys that are jumping you. So I mean, you're going to get a bad taste if 5 guys are jumping on top
Yeah.
of you. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's salvageable.
Yeah. That's a little different, right? So
So you and we're going to wrap it up here in a minute if you don't mind, but can you give me a scenario like on a daily basis, Junior, where you tap into a little bit of that bad boy, you let it shine through, rightfully so.
let it shine through, rightfully so.
And we did. I'm sorry
Yeah.
to drop that bomb on you because normally we try to talk about what we're going to say, but
Yeah.
I feel like the conversation is flowing and
Yeah. Good Lord. That's a good one. I'll give a little bit of context and then maybe not context, but I think that personal self-development, right?
Yes.
Is a way that I tap into using a little bit of that for myself. And so I work now currently, sometimes I'm working with a lot of like larger corporations. Okay. I came from my design business is small, but sometimes a large corporation will call me and ask me to do something for them. And sometimes I run into maybe a president or a CEO or, somebody in upper management, and the waters get tested really quick. And believe it or not, part of being a bad boy sometimes is also knowing how to control the situation.
That's right, Junior. It's a confidence thing, right?
Yeah,
you have
it's
it.
a different, so even though they might be down talking you because you're just a lonely graphic designer from the outskirts of Lake County, you know what I'm saying? I have to tap in and know that I can unleash, but I choose not to.
Yeah.
And that's a bad boy quality, believe it or not. That's a hardcore man quality.
I agree 100%.
So I think on a daily, maybe not daily, but right now that's the one that came to mind. I apologize.
That's
if it's not
awesome.
daily, but yeah.
I think what you described is, first of all, you're always upskilling. You're always like you can sit with anybody, Fernando.
Thanks, I appreciate
you
that.
can, man. I think, and you're going to encounter people
Yeah.
who have positions, and like the Pharisees, that's all they're ever going to get.
Yeah.
That's the reward. You know, Jesus says that a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, you see them, everyone's looking at them.
Yeah.
That's the limit for them. I love the way that you control your inner bad boy and don't rob yourself of an opportunity for a prideful moment,
Right.
right? That's the ultimate in confidence.
Yeah.
And the boss's boss's boss sees that.
Awesome.
I truly do believe that. I believe that I have to tap into that a little bit in my life too, Junior. And I do feel like that thing that you tap into to get through the struggle only makes you better on the back end, because then you're like, wow, every time I come out of that struggle and I apply that inner bad boy in check, I am better on the back end of the struggle. And if that's something you can tap into and be in control of, why wouldn't you do that every time? Why wouldn't you talk yourself out of that mess by realizing, look, I've got all the skills I need. Nobody needs to qualify me. I was made for this.
Right.
I hope you're whispering those things to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, whoever's listening, if you're not talking yourself up, you're doing it wrong, because you're phenomenal. You're amazing. You're scratching the surface.
Yes.
And the other thing I thought about when I was with my wife, and I'm going to be done here. I would love for you to say one more thing, but I thought, you know, as I was rounding the corner and we were headed towards home, I had this thought that everything that I dream of for my family that I think is wild is limited to my current status. Like, I'm dreaming from this position because I'm not where I'm going to be in a year, because I'm going to be farther in a year.
Yeah.
So I'm limited by the way I think now because of my situation now. But God doesn't put limits on you. You probably put more limits on you, right? So I would say, fellas, feel free to tap into that inner bad boy to call yourself out. Don't let people make excuses for you because they're afraid of your success. There'll be plenty of that available, right?
Yep.
Hey, man, I had a business and, we went bankrupt, so, I mean, I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for the breath of life there. You just breathed into my life, right? I really appreciate the confidence you just exuded. You know where that comes from? That comes from a person who never tapped into their inner bad boy, and they're literally afraid of you tapping into yours, because your vivaciousness for life is going to make them, or it's going to remind them about the compromises they made.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people want to be great. Not too many people want to put in the work that it takes to be great.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
You got to take yourself past those limits.
That's right. I feel like there's so much incredible stuff on the other side of the fear.
I love that.
Yeah, you're standing over here, and the people are going to give you excuses. You're giving yourself excuses, and the one that's going to hold you accountable is the inner bad boy we're talking about tapping into. Remember what that coach said to you, the guy that you still think of, the guy that we still have dinner with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Once a year,
awesome.
we try to have dinner with those guys.
Yeah.
Because it's an era of my life that wasn't even the best sport I ever played, but it's the greatest sports memories I've ever had in my life.
Yes. Agreed. Thanks, Jay, for sharing, man. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
I appreciate that.
All right. You guys have a great night. And remember, this is what, episode 2?
Yep. The Mental Edge.
How can you resist episode 3? Well, all right. That'll just about wrap it up. Thank you for listening to this episode of the MentalEdge Podcast. Your host, Fernando Lopez Jr.
Oh, he's so handsome.
And his trusty sidekick, Jay Casey.
Hey, that's me.
Seriously appreciate you spending time with us tonight. Remember, if you like this content, the most flattering thing you can do is like and share it, and then tune in for
Episode number 3.